Good afternoon. So what I wanted to tell y'all, so don't walk, run, and go get this book. This is called To Cage a Wild Bird. That's what it's called. To Cage a Wild Bird. It's on Kindle Unlimited for the free 99 if you have Kindle Unlimited. I just wanted to read y'all a passage of this because this is so good. I think it's like a dystopian a novel. He says, you brought a fugitive from the upper sector. And he says, what did he do? And she says, what he did. And then he said that bee set him up. And then she says, even if he hadn't done all that, isn't watching children starve while having more food than he could ever eat crime enough? I was so happy. I'm so happy to be out of my reading slump. I am happy to have a book that is putting me in a different world. Although there are children here that, I'm sure are hungry. It just puts me in a different place. And I'm so, so very happy. Once again, my lovely book, my Kindle cover this month. So that's Daenerys, and that's Jon Snow, that's Arya Stark, and it says just one more chapter, and these are books and some coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. I do drink coffee. As a matter of fact, I'm drinking coffee today. So I drink a lot of energy drinks. Monster is my drink of choice. However, I have been drinking so much caffeine lately, and I can tell because when I try to go to sleep at night, my mind is just, she won't shut up. I keep on saying, shut up, mind, and she's just like, and then, so I have been lessening the amount that I drink. I won't tell you exactly how many cans I used to drink a day, but I've been drinking. Now I drink 1 can a day and 1 4-ounce of dark coffee in the afternoon. Well, I'm about to go back from lunch now, around 9:30, and that usually gets me through the workday. And then from there, I can sleep at night. I go to bed around 7:30ish, 8 o'clock. But last night I was able to sleep very well. But tonight I plan on reading this book. So I would highly recommend you run over to your Kindle Unlimited or Libby. I believe the author's name is Brooke Fast. And it said, get in, get out, don't fall in. I think it says don't fall in love, but it has my 9% on there because that's where I am with my books. I do have a question for you guys. I always have questions. Do any of you have the Kindle Color Soft? If you do you like it? I like the Kindle that has a lot of room in it, because when books are free, like when they have the little Kindle free books, I'll get those books and then I will put them on in my library, and then I will then read those. And a lot of those books are from lesser known authors. So Kindle, I think it just pushes authors that are like highly sought after, but I like to look at people who maybe they're not as sought after, and so that'll encourage me to get other books that aren't just on the mainstream. Because the other day when I went to Walmart, I was just disappointed. Like, I know Walmart is Walmart, but I want to have more of a selection of books available. So just let me know if you have the Kindle Color Soft, and if you were able, I don't know if they have it in the 64. Is it MB or if it has that? But that's the Kindle. The Kindle that I have now is, and it holds a lot of books, and I need something that holds a lot of books because I do sometimes send them back, and I do delete them if I don't think that they're the best. But yeah, so let me know what you think. So we are in here, and the first thing I do see is the Powerless Reckless by Lauren Roberts. I have never read this. Let me get no. And then they have that one. Just love series, and you cannot get it anywhere. In your heart. Hmm. Oh, we child, that was so uneventful. At Walmart today, there was a woman that was just slowly, the aisle is not even that big in the book aisle, but she was with her kids. She moved so slow in the aisle. It was like she wasn't even really looking at anything, but it just took her so much time. So it took a little while for me to record in there. But they did have some pretty good books in there, and I'll go over those books that they did have, but they mostly have bestsellers, something that they could, you know, sell real quick, but not really insightful books. So lately, I've been reading One Summer in Savannah by Tara Shelton Harris. This is a really good book. I'm on I am on the second chapter of the book, but I've decided to DNF this book. So I'm not going to finish this book right now. I may pick this book up at a later date. However, my mood. I am a mood reader, and I never really thought about it. I know I'm a mood listener to music, and my husband always makes fun of me because I like switch songs. Like, I'm done with that. I don't want to listen to that. He's like, you can't even. Or when I watch movies or TV, I'm a mood watcher too as well. But some of these, I have had a really rough last, I would say, 5 years with death, and uh, you know, a lot of these books have been dealing with childhood traumas and things of that nature. And not to say I haven't worked through that, but it is a triggering situation. And so I've decided just not to. I just want to be happy. Do you guys just want to feel happy when you read sometimes? I just got out of, as you can see, I just got out of chemotherapy, and I just want to be happy when I read. I don't want the sad thing. I know some people love to, you know, cry in movies and things of that nature. And if a movie makes me overwhelmingly sad and there's no good ending at the end, or if a book is like that, I will not watch it again. I will not read it again. Examples of this. Well, I know for movies like Fruitville Station. I have watched Titanic, but I never get to the ending of Titanic because that was just heartbreaking. So I'm just gonna be reading things that make me happy and are happy books. I do like action, so like when I watch a movie or read a book, I do like action. So I'm gonna start reading some more thrillers, and I think I'm gonna focus on thrillers, fan- fantasy, and romance. I think those are the three books that I'm just gonna focus on for this season that I'm in right now. We're moving into the holiday season, and with the holidays, not having my parents here, changing, my life as far as my kids leaving home, even though I don't really think that I still have some kids at home, so I don't feel like I'm fully empty nest, but you know, I just want, I want all the happy feels. So that's what I'm just going to focus on in this next month. This month I went into it. I read one book that was a fantasy book. I cannot think of the name. That tells you how, because I can't think of the name of the book. I read the book and I immediately sent it back to Kindle Unlimited. It wasn't that good. And then I read Atmosphere, which was amazing. And then I saw a book on here. So I was going through Kindle Unlimited, and I have a lot. I have the 64 mega, 64 meg. I read "Want Need Love" by Niobia Bryant. That was a 3-star for me, and it was a good little romance, but it wasn't like ooh. I read. So the next book I'm gonna read is "To Cage a Wild Bird." I've seen that around, and that sounds like it's a pretty good book. Has lots of actions in it, some romance. "To Cage a Wild Bird" by Brooke Bass. So I will let you guys. It says, "Get in, get out, don't fall in love." What? So that sounds like that's up my alley. I like to read fast paced. I don't want to feel like, I'm in English class in college. I want to be able to have a book that has a lasting impression, but not a book that actually devastates me. I've read Colleen Hoover. I read 2 books by her. And in the books that I read by Colleen Hoover, they devastated me. Like one of the books, I think it's Merit. One of the books devastated me so much that it was so morally gray. I didn't cry over that one, but it just left me with a ooh, you know. I could read more of her morally gray, like ooh, books. But as far as her, I feel like a lot of books that have so much trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma, is just I'm not in a space to deal with that. And that doesn't mean that the book is not necessarily good. That doesn't mean that the author's writing is not good. But for me right now in my life, I just can't deal with it. I can't. And there's no sense in me crying over people who don't exist. And if something makes you feel, this is a good one. If something makes you feel bad, you have the choice to be able to say, I'm not going to deal with that, or I'm not going to, you know, watch that, or I'm not going to listen to that. I was talking to somebody that's close to me, and we were talking about true crime. This person listens to true crime all the time. I said, you know, the person also, also had like anxiety and a sense of paranoia, like feeling like all these things were going to happen. And I was saying, do you think that the true crime, because if you listen to or read something all the time, it can have an effect on you're feeding your spirit. So it can have an effect on how you uh, deal with everyday life, um, so the person was like, yeah, they made a change, and so they do have a difference in feeling. And the same with, especially in this day and age, watching the news. Now, I used to watch the news on a regular basis about, well, probably, I would say probably 5, 10, maybe it was more than 10 years ago, in the Obama years, like, the 20 2000 and something, early 2000s, I would watch the news. It didn't bother me at all. But lately, the news has been so triggering, for me. A lot of the things that are on the news are so hurtful, so sad. So when you are a person that wants good for everyone, it is hard to sit there and consume negativity. So I think it's important to be informed. So what I do is I'll watch the news maybe once or twice a week. That's good enough for me. I don't need more, or I will read like newspaper or something like that. I don't need, I'm sorry. I love water. I don't need anything that is more traumatizing and more um, depressing and more makes you feel bad, especially when you have, for me, I have health issues, so I'm already in a lot of pain on a regular basis. So for me to add mental pain in with that, I'm not here for it. So I have made the decision to live like I'm on vacation, or to read like I'm on vacation, to read like I'm just in a relaxed mood. I'm not going to stress. I'm just going to enjoy my books and the type of books that I like to read. I used to like to read a lot more, um, you know, a lot more literary pieces, or I do like some historical fiction. But on another note, I do not want to feel like I do not mind educating myself about English. I love the English language and learning new words. That's the one good thing about using a Kindle, because with the Kindle, if you don't know what a word is, you can highlight that word. I'm trying to get to a place where I can show you. So let's say I didn't know what stretched, the word was stretched. I didn't know what it was. So you can highlight that word, and then you could, the dictionary version pops up. It populates of what the definition of that word is. So like when I'm reading S.A. Cosby and he uses a word here or there, or some other historical novel, or something more profound, then I'll pick and I'll be like, oh, that's a good word. And you know what? I might not remember or use that word in my regular speech on a daily basis, but if I look up the word, if I go back, see that word again, I'll know kind of what that word means. And so I don't have to continue to look it up. It's amazing. It is amazing. And I think it's a good thing to try to expand our minds as well. But I appreciate you guys going through the day with me while I went to Walmart and did all the things. And, you know, sitting in the parking lot in my chemo session. I appreciate that too as well. I hope that you guys all have a good week, and I'll see you in the next one.